Hello and welcome to the Chosen Lifeline for Women. My name is Charmaine Jennings, your chosen life specialist practitioner, where I've been called to change the worth, wisdom, and willpower of women. In today's episode, we are focusing on wisdom, one of my favorite things. And I always come from the book of Proverbs. So many powerful, wisdom is timeless. It's something that you can take a piece of advice and it never goes, it never expires, right? Because wisdom is something that you can use it for this lesson, for the next lesson, and the next. And so in this one, we want to talk about learning to listen. Listening is not, sometimes I've heard the parable, we've been given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can talk less and we can listen twice as much. Well, this scripture in Proverbs speaks to that same type of situation. This is Proverbs 18 chapter 13th verse. It says to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. And so, if we already have our answer ready and we haven't fully listened to what an individual is saying, what it is you're really just waiting for your turn to talk. Dr. Steve Covey, he has a very powerful, one of his 7 habits of highly effective people was we want to seek first to understand and then to be understood. It really goes along with the scripture, right? We want to make sure that we are first seeking to understand. The only way to understand is to fully be an active listener. Listen twice as much and be slow to talk, and definitely to be slow to take offense. And so this is the how. How do we do this, right? Someone calls you, there's a problem, there's an issue. First of all, one thing that we like to do here at Chosen Life Specialists is we like to ask people to audit their listening, and we like to teach them the patterns of things that really interrupt their ability to listen, whether it's the autobiographical listening, whether it is, there's so many things that distract us from truly listening, right? And so these are just some things that come from a book called The DNA of Relationships, and really great book by Gary Smalley. And these are just 4 tips that he gives to us. And I want to share these tips with you today. The first is listen beyond the words to the feelings. How is the person feeling, right? And so we want to listen to what's being said, but we also want to attach a feeling to it. Sometimes that better helps us to really understand where this person is coming from. Is it being spoken from a place of anger, frustration, sadness, disappointment, right? Excitement, joy. Where is this person coming from? It's not always a negative emotion. It could be a positive emotion as well, right? But we want to be aware of that. We're listening. Wow, where is this place? Is this person speaking from? What feeling, right? And allow others' emotions to touch you. So, especially if somebody's calling and they have an issue with you, maybe you've offended them, right? And allow their emotions to touch you, right? Sit in that place of emotion with them. If they're frustrated, why are they frustrated? And, sit in that place of frustration. Sometimes we want to avoid the hard spaces, right? I don't want to sit in the sadness. I don't want to sit in the frustration, and sometimes that really causes us to really separate ourselves from the individuals we are involved with, our family, our friends, our coworkers. And it really doesn't create really a positive space for us to have an authentic relationship with others. The third tip, he says, communication is understanding, not determining who's right. Oh my gosh, this is big. If you constantly are asking yourself, well, who's right in a situation, who's wrong? If you constantly have to referee and there has to be a right and a wrong for us, a conversation to be successful, then you're going to find yourself having challenges, because if there is a right, then there's definitely a wrong. If there's a winner, there's definitely a loser, and that does not make for a good interaction and an exchange, because pretty much that's your goal. Your goal is to win. Your goal is to be right. And when your goal is to be right and to win, then there's definitely a loser and there's definitely a wrong. And who wants to keep engaging with you if by the end of the conversation they're always wrong and they've always lost? And so eliminate that factor out. Just listen, be present, be available, be with the person, right? And then number 4, effective communication starts with safety. And so criticism, where there's criticism, there is no safety, period. Where there is judgment, there is no safety. Where there are threats, there is no safety. And so we want to make sure that when we're engaging in conversations with others, we stick to the issue. If it is a problem and the goal, the intended outcome is a solution, we want to stay solution driven. If your goal is to support a person, be people driven and truly support that person in the process. But learning to listen, it is a skill, it is a strategy. It requires different strategies and tools to differentiate your listening process. But the key thing is being present, connected to the emotion, and allow yourself to be present with the person, to be solution driven, and even person driven at times, and mission driven at times, right? And so that we could have better relationships. So go ahead and check your DNA, learn to listen. And if you definitely need help with that, that is one of our tools under the wisdom belt. Reach out to us here at chosenlifespecialist.com. And I'm your practitioner again until the next Lifeline.